Good morning and welcome back to my channel, Don't Mind Me. My name's Diana and today I will be reading part 1 of Maplebrook House, which I wrote for the Halloween of 2021. I was asked to do a part 2 for last year, but unfortunately I had a lot going on and just wasn't in the right frame of mind to do it. However, this year I did manage to write a part 2, which will be shown this Sunday, the 29th of October. So here's part 1, and I hope you like it. I remember driving down a quiet country lane at the tender age of 6 with my late parents on our way to visit my aunt, and noticing a set of large wrought iron gates with a sign saying Maplebrook House. A long, reed-covered driveway led up to 3 concrete steps and a beautiful but strange-looking house with its original battered wooden front door. Nothing really stood out about this particular house apart from its seemingly abandoned appearance. Abandoned it certainly was not. As the years passed, I couldn't get this house out of my head. I would dream about it for nights on end. It seemed to be calling me, urging me in some strange way to free it from its past. So, as the years passed, the more intrigued and obsessed I became about buying it. Eventually, my dream of owning Maplebrook House became a reality, and I bought it via auction. So, for the next several months, leading up to the day I would finally move into my dream house, I spent all of my free time researching the history of my new home. And here is what I found out. The house was a large and square building and had been built in 1827 and was first owned by a bank manager, his wife and 2 children. Sadly, they were only in their property for just over a year before tragedy struck. No one knew what truly happened on that fateful day of September the 30th, 1828. All I could find was a small newspaper article that the bank manager, his wife and children had all been found huddled together, dead. The police had found no forced entry and there were no telling marks on any of the bodies. So what had killed them? This I needed to find out. There seemed to be no information on what happened to Maplebrook House after the death of the bank manager and his family. I later found out that the property had been bought by a spinster named Maud and her younger sister Ethel, and become a school for girls in 1850. After the death of both sisters, Maplebrook House was bought and made into a residential care home in the late 1880s. It stayed as a residential care home for over 40 years, until it had to close due to low finances. Finally, the property was bought by a man of unknown origin. Rumour had it he had bought the property for his retirement. However, he never moved in. The information just made me more intrigued and desperate to move in. There was so much mystery to this property. I will never forget moving in. The excitement and anticipation was overwhelming, and the night before the move I just couldn't sleep, and when I did eventually fall into slumberland, the dreams that filled my head were strange, to say the least. I moved in, and for several weeks nothing really happened, apart from the odd whisper which I put down to creaky floorboards. I spent my days unpacking boxes and placing ornaments and trinkets on shelves. Early one evening, however, I was walking down the hall, going to make myself a warm drink before going to relax in front of the fire with a good book, when I felt something strange behind me. But when I looked, nothing was there. Was I imagining it? I could have sworn something was behind me, about to reach out and tap me on the shoulder. I shook my head and carried on down the stairs and towards the kitchen. There it was again. I was definitely not imagining it. Once back in the lounge with my drink and book, I started to hear strange blood-curdling screams, screeches, call them what you will, coming from outside the window. At first I thought it could be the start of maybe a cat fight, but it couldn't be a cat, as there were no cats around this area. Strange, I thought, but I let it pass. Then the noise got louder, and I know people will say it was Vixen crying, but it definitely wasn't that. I know what a vixen sounds like, and it was more terrifying than the cries of a vixen. After a few minutes of hearing this strange noise, it disappeared into the distance. I tried to carry on reading, but the strange noise just kept playing in my head, and I couldn't concentrate. I had to find out what it was. I put my book down and climbed the stairs to bed. As I reached my door, I stopped abruptly. There was something black crouching outside my bedroom window. I walked slowly to my bed, still watching the black thing. It just continued to crouch, suspended in midair. Slowly it rose up from its crouching position and silently disappeared. I lay in bed, feeling exhausted but unable to sleep. Had it been that thing outside my window that had made the weird noise I had heard earlier that evening? Or was it something more sinister? I just don't know. This experience had reignited my passion for the paranormal, and I will one day find out the truth about this amazing Biscari house that had become my forever home. But that will be for another time. I hope you like that, and as I say, a part 2 will be put up for Sunday. So I hope you will like it. Put the notification bell on, and if you like my stories, leave a comment. I read every single one, and just remember you are beautiful and to love those around you. Thanks for watching. Bye.